Yo, what's up, everybody? This is coming live from the Slightly Buzzed podcast studio.
How do you handle the situation? You're at the bar. You've been drinking for a while. You're with your boys, maybe with the cute chicks. You've been holding it in for way too long. You go to the bathroom.
My boys or the chick?
Have you broken the seal already?
I don't know if it matters. So the situation is, there's a line.
Matters.
It definitely matters.
No, it doesn't. Hang on. That's not the point. So maybe it don't matter. Maybe this will be part of your answer. There's a line in the bathroom. You go in. You get to your urinal, and you go to pee. Performance anxiety. You can't pee, but there's people waiting, and you can't make
Somebody's
it happen.
a little self-conscious.
That has never happened to me in my entire life.
Sometimes when if I hold it for too long, it just won't flow. It doesn't matter how hard I try.
Usually
I'm like,
usually
I've never had that happen. I'm like a fire hose.
I was about to say. Usually I'm like pissing as I'm pulling my dick out of my pants.
And usually I'm just like blasting it through the back of the urinal. Basically just jackhammer it.
Dude, nothing's worse. You know what the real issue is here?
It's like a fire hose.
When you hit the back of the urinal and it splashes back on you. Oh, dude.
And you're wearing khakis or something. It just looks like you pepped yourself. And you're just like, this is bad. And then you walk back out and you're like, well, the bar's dead.
Yeah, and you're just like, hopefully someone just thinks I spilled a little drinky poo on me. But
turns out I was just rocking a leak.
It was just straight piss.
Yeah, you know, I mean, urinals can be tricky. It's why you always got to aim for the
Have you seen those urinals that have the
urinal cake?
No, it's like the thing in the bottom, but it's like a basketball hoop or a soccer net or something. It's a little fun when you're a little buzzed.
There's one called at my gym in Birmingham. There's one called it's called the hog catcher.
Nice.
And we're sitting in there, and the dude that I work with or whatever, he just walks up to this random guy and he goes, "Yo, did you see the hog catcher in the urinal?" And the guy was like, "What? What did you just say to me?" And he goes, "Yeah, they got a hog catcher in there." And I was like, "I have no idea what you're talking about either. This is questionable at best." Walk in there, massive urinal cake, but it's like one of those ones where there's no splash, bro. It's really nice, actually.
Wait, does it go along the entire back?
Bro, it's like the whole back.
Yeah. I have seen those.
Heavy duty.
So it catches your pee.
Dude, yeah, like there's no splash at all. It just turns it kind of foamy.
Well, that's just faulty marketing. It's not even a hog catcher.
It's catching your hog. Don't worry.
Yeah, I don't know, but dude, you know what does it doesn't piss me off, but it just makes me mad. I wasn't around at the time to think about this. Some dude out there is a gazillionaire off the fact that he just makes
urinal cakes.
Urinal cakes.
Yeah.
Like, dude, doesn't that? I mean,
smells
it doesn't.
like ocean breeze.
Yeah, it's just like, no, it doesn't. It smells like piss in here.
It smells like mouthwash and urine.
They do make a difference.
Oh, 100%. But like, I don't know. Doesn't that just piss you off a little bit?
To like turn your pee green or something.
Yeah,
it's kind of fun.
I don't know.
Urinal cakes.
But
good for that guy.
Apparently, I'm the only one who has performance anxiety.
Well, everyone.
Whatever.
Hey, man, that's just,
I think this
I'm
is
here
going to
for
be
you, I'll help you. I'll hold your hand if you need
a
me.
Kyle therapy hour about his performance issues.
We're going to have to take out of the bathrooms and be like, boys, hold my hands.
No.
Hey, dude. Hey, we can use the buddy system. That's cool. We can use
it. Give a little tap on the ass.
Be like, you got this, bro.
Kind, gentle music in the background.
Instead of kickstart your heart, it's kickstart your stream.
We can make sure nobody else. You know what, dude? You got 2 bodyguards right here, and we'll just like make sure no one else comes in. We'll be like, yo, our boy's got some performance issues here.
Yeah.
We need you guys to back up.
Just someone's in the stall. We didn't realize. We just like kick him. Get the fuck out of here.
Bust into the ladies' room. All right, buddy, your time to shine. You get stalled yourself.
And welcome to Slightly Buzz episode 21.
God, we're live, aren't we?
Yeah, we're definitely.
Sweet Jesus.
What an intro there, boys.
Episode, I don't know how to say 21 in Spanish. 21.
21.
Nailed it.
Thanks.
Well, there's no O.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Lieutenant Aldo Rain.
Yeah. What is that from? Inglourious Bastards?
Yeah.
What's that? What does he say? Oh my God. He's like, I speak some Italian. He says one word.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci.
Great movie, dude. Wait, what?
Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's a Tarantino film, right?
That movie's wild.
So good. But yeah, okay. 21, boys.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
We're
officially of drinking age in podcast years.
Oh my God.
We've been breaking rules, dude.
Can we cheers to that? We break out the beer.
No, hang on. Yeah, let me grab the actual beer.
Good call, dude.
Yeah, disregard the Labatt's on the table if you're watching this.
No. We let's be true to
Well, I
ourselves
love
here.
Labatt.
We drink a.
You
I think
gotta-
Labatt is our go-to.
You got to prime
Drink a
yourself,
beer.
obviously. Like, you can't just hop into it. It's called slightly buzzed. You can't have. Well, I guess I could have one beer and be slightly buzzed, but I'll have a beer and a half and be just absolutely bombed.
Yeah, dude, you gotta toe that fine line. But let's see what we got here. We got the Great Escape Porter by Connecticut Valley
anywhere.
Brewing Company.
It's got a train on it, and if you don't like trains, I question you as an individual. I think this beer is going to be amazing just
Dude,
on the can.
you know what's so weird to think about? That like less than 100 years ago, trains built this nation and were the prime mode of transportation.
Bro, trains are badass.
Yeah, dude. Riding in them.
I took a
riding
train.
the
Yeah,
all
I
of
took a
it,
train to Chicago. It was sweet. Best day of my life.
I'm trying to
Not
think.
really, but it was good. It was a good day. I didn't hear what you said. And you're looking
Doesn't-
at
No,
me.
I'm just looking at you because I don't know why you're so excited. I
Trains?
actually haven't ridden a train, so I really can't judge.
Trains are badass.
The train in the Henry Ford's sick.
Yeah, locomotives, sick. Plow trains, sick.
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Great movie.
Awesome movie. Rip to the legend, John Candy.
Yeah.
All
it's-
Yeah, let's see. So this is from, I'm assuming, Connecticut. Little East Coast action.
South Windsor.
Let's see here. Does it
Six
give
and a
a-
half, boys. Ooh.
There's actually no Oh, dude, that's sick. The barcode is in the shape of the state of Connecticut. It's a nice little touch.
Very, very cool.
But there's
Michigan's got a cooler
They
shape.
say if you shake the can and you can't hear the beer shake, you don't believe in Santa Claus.
What is this, Polar Express?
Bang.
that's like your favorite movie.
You know it's set in Grand Rapids? What's up?
Is that where Santa lives?
Nick's got an obsession with the Polar Express. That dude, the
Really? Tom
animation,
Hanks, Tom Hanks does like 80% of the characters. It's
the
elite.
animation of that movie creeps me out.
Yeah, I'm with you. And that one always got me. It was very weird.
It was like too not realistic. They were trying to be too realistic. It just didn't.
They weren't there
The
yet.
movie came out in
They
like
weren't there yet.
2011 or something.
Exactly.
Like 2006,
No
bro.
Was
real
it that
time.
long? No,
No.
there's no way it was 06.
Dude, I bet it was.
That is definitely false.
I bet it was. Okay, I'm under over at
11.
2008.
11.
I'm going under 2008.
11. Guaranteed. It's probably wrong. I went and saw this in an IMAX theater. Oh, 4?
Bang!
What?
Get your boy on the betting tables. Let's go.
All right, well, my day's absolutely ruined. Good thing it's towards the end.
I wonder how
I'll
long.
cry myself to sleep later.
You know, how long do you think
Half
it
in the
took them
bag.
to make something like Polar Express? I bet they started it in like 2000, maybe even earlier.
Oh, I mean, dude, there's plenty of movies that just... I'm sure it did. I mean, Avatar took forever to do, and that was, like, insane.
Do you guys
it was
like
much
Avatar?
Better, though. The movie was not bad, but what is that movie based on? It's like a Pocahontas movie, right?
Yeah, it was the
What,
same
Avatar?
exact thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like humans go to some planet, and they're trying to extract all of its natural resources.
And there's that one dude
Yeah.
who could be portrait. You know, never mind. I'm not gonna. Who's just trying to get with that blue chick?
Oh, yeah.
There's always that one guy who's like, you know,
He's like, those legs.
He's
that
like-
tail. Did you see that tail?
Look at that hair.
But,
there's always one dude.
it was a good movie. I think it was more. It got so much hype because of the graphics and everything about it. I mean, the movie itself is.
I remember
half-decent.
go seeing it because that was like the first like gigantic 3D only
Didn't
movie
it
or
top
whatever.
Titanic?
It may
Avatar?
have.
Yeah. Wasn't it like the #1 grossing movie of all time for a minute?
I think at the time, but Titanic may have taken it back over. Titanic's way better. Jack, come back.
God. That movie used to scare me, actually. I used to be afraid to go on boat.
Jesus.
I didn't want
Oh,
to sink.
2.76 billion.
That's a billion with a B.
2 point. That's almost 3 billion.
It's a lot of money.
Dude, click on that first one.
Huge.
Highest grossing movies of all time.
Up here.
Yeah.
Gone
Yeah,
with
dude,
the
that's crazy, too.
wind.
Matt Damon was supposed to be cast,
Gone
and then he
with
was
the
like, I don't
Wind,
want to do
dude.
it.
Adjusted for inflation.
I wonder how Matt Damon feels on losing out on $250 million.
Okay, so not adjusted for inflation, it's Avatar, but adjusted for inflation, it's Gone with the Wind.
What? I've never even seen that movie.
What?
Probably
It's from
sucks.
the 30s.
Great. We had to watch it for a film class.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, you're artsy, huh?
No,
I know.
that film class sucked. I did take a film class and a rock and roll class. The rock and roll class was
probably
actually
badass.
sick.
Dude, want to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Cleveland?
Dude, I'm so down.
Cleveland's actually dope. Gets a bad rap. I want to put that out there. For all our Cleveland listeners, if we do have some, Cleveland's actually dope. You guys have a halfway decent city. Being from Detroit, I'd go to Cleveland any day of the week.
All right, boys. Yeah. Ooh, I don't know. I love
Cleveland's
Detroit,
cool.
but that's
My
also
grandma's from
Cleveland?
Cleveland.
Detroit's like our closest big town. So
Yeah.
D-Town.
I'll rock with the D. Detroit.
I mean, the
Rock
D's
City.
cool. It's whatever.
Yikes. All right, hey, cheers, boys. Let's
Cheers.
to
Here's to being of age in the podcast world.
Reach for it. Yeah, you know.
You like that?
So speaking of things that I've seen, you guys made me watch that Epstein documentary on Netflix.
Crazy.
Dude, what a wild thing that was, huh?
Well,
Crazy.
Some crazy shit went down, dude.
So I'm fully prepared to go into the conspiracy behind one, who Epstein was.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, down Tim Richards' Pony Express.
What he did for like what his actual role was, because they just said he was a financial guy,
Yeah.
a stock trader, and three,
Trader.
whether he's alive or not.
Oh, he's
Still.
definitely dead. No, he's dead. I'm put that
all
out
I
there.
need is
So-
your thesis statement and a conclusion paragraph, and I got the full outline.
Okay, so
Beginning, middle, end.
one, who was he? His name was Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, I don't know. That was
Two.
kind of creepy.
Because I didn't know where I was going.
Tim's like, his name? Jeff. Epstein.
Let's go into the first half. Or
name's
first
My
disclaimer.
name's Jeff.
One of the most horrendous people this planet's ever seen.
Scumbag.
Terrible,
To the T.
unthinkable acts. But I think he was if you want to say, upper official or intelligent agency agent, per
Yeah.
se. An agent of chaos, an agent of someone who
I was
gets
gonna say, what is
blackmail
it,
on
CIA?
high-ranking
I feel
officials.
like where you're going with that.
I'm even going ahead of CIA. I'm talking like I'm talking like a little Illuminati.
Illuminati? Oh, bro.
I don't know if Illuminati is the correct term, but I just think it's like
Part of some
the-
higher society.
the ultra rich, and this guy's job
Okay.
was to get them to do unspeakable things and get it on camera. That's my thesis. Conclusion: he's still alive on an island somewhere.
I think Epstein got to that level where there's only a handful of people that are on that level, and they all just have dirt on so many people. And that, I mean, like, they talk about that in the documentary. Like, he's just, like, I mean, we touched on it a minute ago, but, like, blackmail, dude. Gets you a long way if you if you do it right.
The interesting thing is when you talk about these high stakes players in international affairs, whether it's government, banking, war, anything like that, these people cannot act as irrational actors because then the entire system collapses, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, doesn't that just kind of make sense? But the world's filled with crazy, rich, elite people. So what better way to get them to all act on the same playing field than to
Influence them.
be
per
like,
se.
let's get you to have sex with an underage girl and then get it on camera.
Yeah.
That way, if you do anything we don't like,
Your legacy's done.
you're done.
Yeah, because it's not even about having like power via money or like political influence at that point. You're at that level now where basically everyone you're interacting with does what they want. So the only way to control them. Yeah,
But
Is to,
that's
yeah.
true. Yeah.
Epstein was like, I mean, so did that. There's some high people in some high places that Epstein hung out with that now have their entire legacies just absolutely ruined, and for good reason. But like Epstein did it to himself too. Like he was
Don't get me
doing
wrong.
that stuff.
I think
it
he
wasn't
was,
like he was just doing it to get dirt on people.
okay, but I think it takes a certain type of perverse individual to be the agent of that chaos or
Sure.
that agent of debauchery.
He's like, I'm here for it, so you're here for it too.
Yeah, I mean, personally, obviously, from what the documentary found in his house, in his island, was like thousands and thousands of pictures and videos of
Well, everything was decked out in cameras, dude. It was wild.
everything was decked out on cameras, and every inch of every wall of all of his estates were just filled with naked girls.
Yeah, dude. Actually, the erotica that was found was actually like pretty. If I was walking in there under the assumption that we were investigating him because of sexual abuse allegations, and I walk into that, I'm like, oh, this guy's guilty for sure. Like it was definitely, I don't know,
Crazy.
That did not look good. Not a good scene.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, like, what the document tells us about Epstein's background. Smart guy, went to school,
Yeah,
got a job as a professor by lying about doing something else.
which is wild.
Said he
Then-
taught where at the Dalton School.
Yeah, the
in
Dalton
Manhattan?
School in Manhattan, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty elite, small,
Is that like
private.
business school or
I think it might just be everything, but I'm pretty sure
Okay.
he worked in the economics department.
Sure.
And that isn't to say he wasn't very intelligent, because he
definitely
was.
yeah.
Because it takes not only a level of like what we classically know as intelligence to pull off what he did,
Yep.
but also like social intelligence. They said he was like a
Absolutely.
master manipulator.
Yeah, that's how he kept his
Absolutely.
Goldman's Sachs is where he was at, or was he at Barclays or some
Stearns.
major?
He
Bear
did.
Stearns.
Yeah, he was
I'm
at
reading
Bear.
Bear. He's a
Stearns,
bear,
yeah.
and he got fired or they were gonna fire him, and then he like convinced them to let him stay on.
Yeah, because they realized his entire resume was a lie.
Yeah.
But the head guy at Bear Stearns was like, well, this dude's doing pretty well.
And yeah, he's just like, and he owned up to it. He's like, we'll give him a second chance.
Yeah.
But is that how he made his money?
So I'm just reading. So started with teaching, then he went to Bear Stearns Bank, and then he began a financial consulting role. And I was just reading that they were paying him at some point what is adjusted for inflation about $59,000 a month to do some consulting.
My God!
But if you think about that, that's not that much on Wall Street.
No, but
I mean, it's definitely not enough to amount to the net worth that he ultimately
So
had.
here's where it gets interesting to me. So I think I talked about Eric Weinstein a couple podcasts ago, but he made some relevant points in an interview about 2 years ago when the Epstein story was really breaking for the first time. And he was like, this guy was buying islands, was buying private jets, was buying, mansions in the most expensive places to live. And they said, and he got caught in it. But his net worth was not at that level where people act like that. That is what he said was an 11-figure. He was living an 11-figure lifestyle. Mm-hmm. You cannot afford all that with 9 figures, even though we think of $500 million as so much.
Yeah.
But the lifestyle he was living cannot be subsidized by just that. He was acting in a manner that if you roll with those social elites, that it was way more than $500 million.
Sure.
So.
But that's the thing is when you roll with those elites, who's there to check you? Who's there to make sure you're being honest with your financial gains? Who's going to do it?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So obviously,
and he was the money guy, so everybody looked to him anyways.
I'm just saying there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that he could have been lying about his financial wealth and sources of income.
So you think he had way more?
I'm saying if you're going to roll with the people that he's rolling with, there's no one there to make sure you're telling the truth. They're the people that make sure you tell the truth.
Not to mention his background was all in money management, so they obviously probably just assumed.
But the weird thing is there's a lot of people whose reactions to him in real time, like accounts in the early 2000s, late 90s, when this was really at its peak, was like, this is a Gatsby-type figure. Yeah. Nobody knows what he does. There's no financial records of him doing any major deals. And everyone said, what Weinstein said was a common belief about him was he was a character. He wasn't a person necessarily. And he was trying to portray this lifestyle that it just simply didn't make sense based on what he said he had.
So let me ask you this. What do you think he did that allowed him to do all this? Where do you think he got his money from? What's the backbone to his lifestyle?
Okay, so here's where it gets super, super conspiracy.
Ooh.
So we're going down that rabbit hole.
Tickling my toes on this one, huh, Tippy Boy?
I think that the Ghislaine Maxwell relationship is what spurred this entire thing.
Yep.
For
those of you who don't know, she's like the lady partner in crime. Lady friend partner in crime?
Yeah,
I'm not sure what her relationship was.
They weren't married. In the documentary, I want to say they referred to them as partners.
Partners, yeah. Life partners?
Yeah, but not married.
Yeah.
To me, it seemed like, in the little research, I'm not super well versed in these matters, but the little research I've done is that Ghislaine Maxwell's father was kind of the same agent of chaos in the UK before. So Epstein just kind of took over the family business, and at the same time that they met, that's when he accumulated the $500 and so odd million. There was no record of transfer. There was no record of anything like that. He just all of a sudden went from a couple $1 million to $500 million.
That's what I'm trying to make the point of is you could do that. When the people who check you are your friends, they might as well be handing you the money.
Sure.
No one's there to check you.
And that's a crazy thing. His New York estate was apparently a gift, even though that's a $70 million gift.
It was insane. And then the apartment in Paris was another huge chunk of it was close to, wasn't it not 10 million, maybe even more, that apartment? It was just an apartment.
Yeah.
But obviously it was probably a sprawling place.
As a side, how crazy is upper level real estate pricing?
Dude, it's insane. Also, I think it'd be kind of badass to own your own island. Who's the guy that owns the Virgin Mobile guy.
Yeah, I can't remember his
Richard
name.
Branson.
Yeah,
Branson,
Richard
there we
Branson.
go.
He's got like his
Is
own
it
private.
Branson?
Yeah, it's
Branson.
Branson. He's got like his own private island. I'm just like, this got to be kind of cool.
Oh yeah, 100%.
He's like, I got a bathroom that's outside overlooking the water.
Rick and Morty.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know if it'd be my
reference, yeah.
go-to, but it'd be cool to do once.
Nah, it'd definitely be my go-to.
Every time you're just like,
Except for like halfway through poop, you just like start sprinkling. You're like, no.
some seagulls flying in at you, and you're just like, get out of here.
Yeah. So back to the Epstein stuff. Yeah, I don't, dude. I can't. No.
Mine?
Yeah, I think I think they live in such a different society than we do. We'll never really truly be able to understand what was going on.
Yeah.
But I think that was his role. I think he was a blackmail guy. I think he extorted a lot of people for doing a lot of things for a lot of money that went under the table.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he just lived this insane lifestyle. And I have to imagine after a certain amount of time, he just realized that thought that he was untouchable.
Yeah, I mean, dude, he basically got his entire... When the case was initially opened in Florida, I mean, somehow it got just absolutely, like, just shut down to, like, an extensive level.
Yeah, do you remember in the documentary they were describing how the local police wanted to go to the state level in order to try to make sure that they really cracked down on him, and then
He went to the federal level, but at the time it was the attorney general.
Yeah, what's that dude's name?
Well, again, I was going to say something different. I was going to say
He's
that
part of Trump's administration.
Who?
The attorney general who gave him the great plea deal. But we'll get there. What were you saying?
figure out
What
his
were you
name.
saying?
No, that the state people were calling up. I'm sorry, that the local people were calling up the state people, and their initial response to the state people was, "Sounds great. You got a great case. We got your back." And then the minute they started really pushing things legally, all of a sudden it was like
Gone. Brushed
they
under the table.
stopped. Yeah, that really threw me for a loop hearing that.
Yeah, dude, that's those backroom deals we're talking about.
No kidding, dude. And then, not to mention, just his jail sentencing in general was a joke. Like, he got to leave jail on a daily basis for like 12 hours for work privileges.
Is it Alex Acosta?
Acosta, yeah.
Yeah, there we
Isn't
go,
that right?
Acosta. Yeah, he was on Trump's administration.
Yeah, he was
for a
later
second.
appointed to Trump's administration, and the story broke, and he was gone.
Yeah.
Not to mention Trump and Epstein had ties, and then back in like 2004, Trump was like, I don't like this guy. He probably caught wind of what was going on.
Probably.
There's been
It was
some,
like, I'm
some
outta here.
questionable looking pictures popping up lately of old Donnie Boy. That like, or they're trying to, like, Anonymous was posting some stuff.
I don't even want to talk Trump. I got to be honest with you.
No.
Yeah, questionable shit for sure.
100%.
No doubt. I don't even want to speculate though.
You're telling me, dude. Just was like, wow.
Well, it's just crazy to think about like high level people that were close with, like super close with Epstein. Bill Clinton went to his island like 26 times. Prince Andrew, a lot. Alan Dershowitz, arguably like one of the leading legal professionals in the country.
Yeah.
You had
Was that
Lex Wexner, the guy who runs Victoria's Secret.
was that Prince Andrew interview? Was that on the documentary, or was that? Did I watch that outside of the documentary?
I think they touched on it in the documentary.
Dude, it was a tough scene, man.
I think he was trying to be so like overtly ignorant about it that people were just like
It was like tough to watch. It was
they
like
were
his
just, like-
responses were brutal.
they were just like confused.
Yeah.
They came out of that confused. They're like, "What?"
I mean, it was just a terrible interview. Like on his behalf. Like, it just looked bad.
If anybody's rationally looking at that interview, you're like, "That dude's definitely guilty."
Yeah, 100%.
Like, there's no doubt. But yeah, I don't know. It's just crazy to think that these upper level elite people were just cool with it, and now everyone's like, "Oh, they probably didn't do anything." Like, what?
All right, I want to ask you a question. How does a case get to the federal level like this and then just get brushed under the rug? How?
You got people in
I'm
low
not
places.
joking. Backroom deals.
Yeah.
Stuff like what happened with, because without the only reason Epstein got retried is because, one, there was public interest. People were like, all right, there was a backroom rush court order where this guy got 18 months, only served, 12 or something, or maybe he served all 18, half of which he was allowed to leave the prison. He had his own cell, and there's some great, this is the important part of investigative journalism and the role it plays in our society. because without that Vice piece or whatever, it probably doesn't get brought back up. And people are like, all right, there's a little public momentum for it. They get the Crimes Victims' Rights Act to be able to get it retried, and they're like, oh yeah, this. Why'd they get him for solicitation of prostitution instead of sex trafficking?
Yeah, got
prostitution.
entirely just dumbed down.
And they changed the way they looked at the women, the victims of the situation, to prostitutes as opposed to,
which is absurd.
Yeah,
because so many of them were so young.
Yeah, it's just absolutely ridiculous.
There's no chance.
So what they did to me is the reason why I think the idea that he was this upper level intelligence agent or quote agent was because there had to be a reason that those upper level officials in the judicial system were like, all right, let's sweep this under the rug. Because I think if I still don't think we know half of it. I still really don't think we know half of it.
Don't. It doesn't make any sense. There's no way we know it all because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So many things that happen they don't add up.
Like if someone told you the story of Jeffrey Epstein as like a novel, a fictional novel, people would be like, "There's no way."
Well, it would sound like a total Gatsby ordeal, like this, like you said, like he's a Gatsby-like character, but it just like a horrific sense.
Yeah, I guess the reason I brought in the legal sense, people would be like, "Oh, well, there's no way a legal system could be that messed up." There's no way.
Turns out it is.
Yeah, and it's crazy, but I think it was a mixture of super high behind the scenes people being like, all right, let's cut this deal real quick. Let's make sure nobody knows about it. So
just make this go away quietly. Literally is what it felt
several presidents aren't indicted, and a lot of high-ranking pop stars like
Bill Clinton back in the spotlight.
Bill Clinton's always, it's terrible. But I think that's why that scenario holds the most validity, if that's a good way to put it. Sorry.
No, entirely.
I got to have some Tums up in here,
Attaboy. But, I mean, I will say this, the documentary as a whole, it was so interesting because it was such a big story, and it's hard to digest all that information from all the different news outlets when it was going on. Because, you want to be... You obviously want to approach everything with an open mind and be speculative about it and come to your own conclusions, but I think that documentary really did a good job of the timeline.
Yeah.
Major key events.
Yeah.
And circling back post the actual, or after everything went down with the hearings and the trials, circling back with the victims and just touching back with just how messed up that entire process was.
You can't feel any worse for people.
No,
these young women were extorted at ages as low as 12, 13, 11.
Yeah.
And sold into sex slavery. There's no other way to look at it.
I'm very glad that that's one of the focuses of the documentary was to let them speak because that was the problem for most of it. Is their voices were not
being heard
at all.
Yeah, it's terrible.
And that's a good take. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I just think it's you know how helpless they must have felt? I think dude, I couldn't imagine being in their situation and just continually getting fucked over. Yeah. For lack of a better term. Just completely. Literally. Not to mention they were degraded in public. They were like, these are prostitutes. These are... Yep. Could you imagine being sex trafficked and then just being, told that you were an immoral person?
Yeah. I can't even imagine that.
That frustration probably is... I couldn't even... Yeah. Terrible.
Yep. I mean... but now Epstein is dead, quote unquote.
That's what they say.
You guys think he's alive?
I think he's dead. I think he's dead. I think he either killed himself or somebody had him killed because the way the way the guards were. I mean, I get that. So what the story goes is that it's a super underfunded prison. There's a lot of issues
very
before
true.
it. They're constantly having outages with security cameras. So there's a lot of I guess pre-documented issues that came up in the same instance when Jeffrey Epstein allegedly killed himself. Did he hang himself, or did something happen that we also don't know behind the scenes? A little backdoor deal where something went down and somebody took him out so that he would never get a chance to speak again.
Sorry to cut you off there.
No, you're good. That was pretty much my whole thought.
Independent autopsy reports state there's no way that was a suicide. So we kind of know that it couldn't have been a suicide because of the breaks in the lower, like the upper chest of the bones. So pretty much.
And they said what he did was he just like tied himself up and like leaned forward.
Yeah, you can't die like that.
I was like, I don't know about that one.
So the official story, just like a lot of other conspiracy theories, the official story is obviously flawed. We know that, so that gives reason to have skeptical ideas about the rest of the story.
Yeah.
I think that
the cellmate was removed and no one was brought in as a replacement. They gave him a private cell to be either murdered or to commit suicide or to escape from.
He was on suicide watch. I think
clearly not.
Well,
yeah, exactly. But he was on suicide watch.
It wasn't just because it was him. It was like that's like protocol for a lot of these situations. Like high profile people that get put in legal situations like this, they're all on suicide watch.
Look at this. The 2 guards who were assigned to check his cell overnight fell asleep at their desk.
Yeah,
bro.
Like I said, like these are all things.
This is way too convenient.
I know it is.
I think he's alive.
Oh, 2 cameras in front of Epstein's cell also malfunctioned that night. Oh, interesting. How could that all happen on the same night?
Exactly.
I don't know. What I think happened
entirely
is...
But the way they're getting away with it is because a lot of this stuff's been pre-documented. Saying like they have issues with guards falling asleep and they have issues with cameras going out.
You think a justice system that wasn't that was willing to completely throw his situation under the rug wasn't also able to think forward and be like, let's throw him into a prison that everyone thinks is really shitty.
Yeah. Literally. Has all these like issues that are already like known about and then we can go through. Done. What is this, like a little graphic of where his muscle, like the bone that was broken?
The bone directly under here in the chin was broken. They're saying that some conflicting reports, I think Tim had already mentioned this, but it was more consistent with strangulation or homicide, not suicide. And I think I've heard something about that the angle of the rope did not make sense for suicide at all.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, not to mention in prisons, it doesn't, like, how is he going to get 25 jumpsuits to build something? Like, that was the thing. He had over 25 jumpsuits in his cell.
I'm cold.
Oh, I thought it was bed sheets, but that's wild.
No, it was the orange jumpsuits. The picture, I saw the picture, I think, is in the documentary.
Ooh.
It's just like, what? What are we doing here, folks?
Look at this really quick. Over 1,000 jail hangings or suicides in the New York City state prisons over the past 40, 50 years. Nobody had 3 fractures like he did.
Yeah.
He's 1 in 1,000.
Now,
or 1 in thousands.
Is there a picture of his autopsy report? Have we seen a picture of his dead body?
I haven't.
I mean, this is supposed to be it right here.
So that's what they're giving us?
There's no face.
No face. Interesting.
Yeah, he's alive.
Why is this one more
what do they
red
do?
than that
Oh,
one?
so if he's alive, what'd they do with him?
Oh, he's sitting on an island somewhere, living his best life.
You think?
Facial
why not just
reconstruction surgery?
100%.
Facial reconstruction.
Why
change
do
the
that though?
finger.
Why not just end him?
Because he's your friend and he's got a lot of dirt on you.
Well, then why not just end him?
Because he probably blackmailed you too. And he's got people that are safe havens around him that if he gets touched, you're done. So you can't touch him. He's not dumb.
That's an interesting take. I like that. I'll ride with that.
This is, I think when you get to that level of elitism, it's all power games, dude.
Sure.
That's all it is.
I never thought of it like that.
It's 4D
I think he's dead,
chess.
but if that's true, I could see that totally.
How do you think he got away with it for that long without putting these types of systems in place?
I do think he thought I think at any point of that level of sociopathic behavior, or even psychopathic behavior and narcissism, that sometimes I think he probably got in his own head and was like, I'm untouchable.
I know, but that's
I'm
probably
invincible.
why he got caught, not why he got killed.
Exactly.
There's a difference, though.
Oh, so you think he got killed?
He might have gotten cocky and got caught. But I bet you even then, you're thinking ahead of time, if I get caught, how am I getting out of this? There's no way you're not thinking about that.
What's your take? Is he dead or alive?
Honestly, I bet you he's alive. I would not blow my mind whatsoever that a plan was put into place just to get him out and away.
Sure.
And he's taken care of. He's got no worries.
So
the thing
everybody's
is,
concerned about the network of people that he could possibly have that would back him or like try and maybe spawn up a few issues here and there for some high up people.
The elite,
Absolutely.
the elite of the elite tend to roll with themselves. They tend to be best buds.
But if he's dead, then nobody really has anything to worry about.
Except for all the documents that he has.
Do you think those were?
Well,
just
those are
like
still...
they're not just in a file folder, bro.
Well,
I'm
where are those
sure
documents now if everybody thinks he's dead?
probably scattered amongst different people all around the world that he has as safe agents.
How does that matter if he's dead or alive, though?
Because if he got killed in a way, let's just pretend that he did die, which I don't believe happened.
Okay.
Something must have been worked out that he was going to go out quietly and he wasn't going to tell on everybody. Otherwise, it would not be that hard to start leaking things.
And okay, so that's under the assumption that he kills himself.
I don't think he's dead, though. Remember
But we know for a
think
fact,
that's why
based
you
on
haven't
the
heard anything.
autopsy report, that he didn't kill himself. So now we're playing under the assumption that he was either killed or a body double was replaced with him.
Okay.
So, I mean, both of those are fairly likely. I think if we're talking about the elite of the elite, and maybe we're just buying into like the whole like secret society, secret type of life. That may be part of the allure to the theory that he's still alive.
You're right.
But I think it's much more likely that he's still alive and escaped that night than it is someone had him killed. Because I think if someone had him killed, other stuff would have already come out by now. Because I think there's a lot of there's a web of people intertwined with him. And I think if one person acted incorrectly, someone else is going to want to get revenge on that dude.
That's what I'm trying to say. And I have not heard a lot of revenge stories.
No,
So
not at
that
all.
makes me think nothing got tripped.
I also
Meaning
think-
nothing went out of his plan.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of people that... I don't know if revenge... I mean, revenge, obviously, for the people that, like the victims, would want revenge. But he was actually pretty well liked amongst his crowd. Like, a lot of people genuinely liked him a lot.
Are you trying to prove my point?
No, I'm saying that... Why would... So you're saying that stuff would come up because of revenge if he was
I'm saying
dead?
if somebody tried to do something that he didn't want to have happen, I feel
i.e.
like I could be
killing him.
confident. Yeah, if somebody tried to kill him and he wasn't cool with that, I'm not going to explain to you why he would be cool with that, but somebody would be in place to screw that person over for sure. And I have not heard of many people getting
So
screwed
the way I
over.
look at it, if he dies, it just ultimately eliminates...
Where do you think all the information that he was housing went?
Well, even if he is alive, where is it now then? That's also what I want to know. Like, do you think it's with him? Do you think he just gets to keep all
I think
of it?
because he's still alive. He basically goes, I still
But
have access
there's-
to all this dirt on you. Do not touch me. I'm leaving. Don't look for me. Don't come
But
find
how does
me.
he have access to it, though?
What do you mean?
Back
How does he-
Well,
channels through...
just what through his what? Just he's
No,
no
he
evidence
probably
of it.
has resources all around the world
okay.
put
Dude,
in
okay.
place. This is
I
like
see what you're
straight
saying. I
Jason
see what you're
Bourne
saying.
right
Yeah,
now.
I see
okay.
what
So
you're saying.
the other thing is, like, 2 days before his death, he made a will, pretty much putting all of his money, all of his resources, all of his belongings
Yep.
into offshore accounts, various places. And if you don't think he had, like, small recluse islands in the middle of nowhere that
Sure.
probably people don't even really know about,
Just under other names.
under other names,
Other-
they found
I mean, they found other aliases.
fake passports, fake currency,
That's fair.
like
That's a good
all
point.
that stuff. I think this dude was so high up, he had back channels that we couldn't even imagine.
Doesn't surprise me at all. Like I said, I was just trying to pick your brains on it. If he's dead, great. If he's not, hopefully he dies soon.
Yeah, that dude deserves to rot in hell. I think something that gets lost is like, and the documentary did a good job touching on it though, was like the
It's kind of upsetting that everybody just thinks he dies though, and he doesn't actually get to face the ultimate consequences.
Exactly. He doesn't have
That's
to-
the worst part
Oh,
about the whole
it's
thing.
terrible.
those women don't get their day in court.
Yeah, it's
that they
horrible.
deserve. They don't get to look him in the face and be like, "You fucked my life up."
Seriously,
Nope.
that's the worst part about it. So
That's why I'm getting so riled up.
Yeah.
Because it just frustrates me that you could get to that point where you could play the system. That's not what our country is supposed to be. We're all supposed to be under the rule of law.
Yeah,
And this
but
was
we
a
just
blatant display of it not being
we
true.
just know that's not the case.
I know.
no,
It's
yeah, I
terrible.
mean it's time and time again it happens. It's annoying.
This
more
one,
than annoying, actually.
This one was
It's
just
enraging.
this one was just so flippantly arrogant. There was a certain level of arrogance, and if you watch all the deposition film, he was just so arrogant. Like for someone to be able to, okay. So the case that they give in the documentary is the Virginia Roberts situation, where she was sex trafficked to Prince Albert.
Yeah, Prince. Wait,
Albert.
Albert.
Albert. Yeah,
Albert.
Prince Albert. I said his name earlier. I'm just blanking right now.
that means I was wrong earlier. I got the name wrong, but go
Sex trafficked him. They've got photo evidence of it, and they've got a bunch of photos with her and Epstein, and she lived with them for like 3 years.
ahead. Yep.
And
Is she like a masseuse?
on I think that was the other girl,
That was
actually. On the deposition,
Oh, I'm sorry. We should fix this.
Andrew.
Prince
Jesus, we were
Andrew.
both
Yeah, okay,
wrong.
so I did say
Yeah,
Andrew earlier.
yeah.
Okay, cool. Right on.
Um,
It's a
in the
point for me.
deposition, he just the moderator's like, so do you know the name Virginia Roberts? Have you ever met her? Do you know anything? And he goes, yeah, I really wish I could answer that question because you know what I would say. But I'm advised to say under my 4th, 5th, 13th Amendment rights to remain silent,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like, dude, how can you get to that level of psycho in the head?
It's just
where
arrogant.
Say that, yeah.
to get mad at someone for asking you about something everyone knows you
It's just
did.
absolutely heinous, too.
It's incredible to me. Like that someone actually has the capacity to do that as a human.
I'm literally getting heated. Look at that smug look on his face.
Bastard.
Terrible.
God.
It's just crazy. And it's crazy that there was the systems in place to protect him. And it's also crazy that deal that they cut so no one else involved could get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
It's pathetic.
And also, if that entire verdict of him getting retried under the Victims Crimes Right Act or Crimes Victims Right Act, whichever it was, how come those people can't be tried now? How come Ghislaine Maxwell, who was there every step of the way, isn't in any trouble?
Well, do they have any evidence that would get them to reopen the case on those people?
I'm
They
sure
should
they
have,
have
right?
that.
But the
Find it.
issue is in the first initial deal,
Yeah, they
the only time in U.S. history
were what's the word for it? They were exiled from being,
they're given immunity.
immunity.
Immunity for those who were named as accomplices and those who were unnamed as accomplices.
But I thought that when you do those types of deals, it's all the evidence that's presented then gets locked away. You can't bring it back up. But couldn't they find new stuff and try to get them on new things?
That's true, but it's still all revolving around that case
So
and the
you're still
specific
new?
legal language of it. But here's the thing: it's like if you can retry that plea deal, how come you can't retry that aspect of the plea
I
deal?
don't know, man.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Like it's so counterintuitive to what we think of justice. It's crazy.
Man, that just sucks. I'm sorry. I know I'm getting all weirdly
No, it's
fired up. God, that stuff's probably happening right now.
oh yeah, 100%. We got some more beer, boys.
Yeah, we got some more beer. All right, I want a hard segue away from this. I'm sorry.
Let's
There's
point
not
the
a lot
light.
left to say. I'm just really.
No, I mean,
Now
it
we
was
got
good to
into it,
touch
I'm
on
pissed.
because this needed to be talked
Yeah,
about.
if you haven't seen the
Jeffrey Epstein doc, check it out.
documentary, it's on Netflix. Definitely go give it a peek. It's pretty solid.
It's called Jeffrey Epstein, Filthy Rich.
Yep.
Okay.
It's been out for a while, so chances are you've probably seen it. But
To transition here, we got some good news coming out of the light of the sports realm.
Give it to me.
Dude, we got baseball coming back. I know you're a big baseball guy.
All right, yep.
I mean, the MLB kind of just absolutely botched it up until now, but at least they finally agreed to bring some light back to my life. Getting the boys on the field.
Yeah.
We got the boys of summer back. 60-game season. Tigers still suck, but whatever. It is what it is.
yeah, I mean, I think if you look at the baseball situation more, I guess, in depth, it was the worst handling of a professional sport I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
There have been lockouts before.
Sure.
This wasn't even
But
a
actually,
lockout.
I don't know too much about it. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
So
Between the two, you guys
essentially, broken down in layman's terms, obviously they're going to have a shortened season due to COVID, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, it's already June.
MLB owners and MLB, the Players Association, had two very different views of how this goes.
Okay.
The owners were like, all right, well, we're losing out on a lot of money, and because fans can't be in the stadium,
Yeah.
we're going to lose money every game.
So they wanted to stop paying players.
So they were like, we're going to give
Oh.
you 20% or less. Like
Yeah.
there were some prorated deals. Yeah, MLB players were like, how about you just prorate us for the season, which seems like the fair thing.
Sure.
We do 70 games, then playoffs, we get everything in,
Yep.
but you just pay us the percentage of, which is still, I mean, you got dudes who are making millions and millions
some
and millions
baseball
of
players make
dollars.
A ton of money.
So they're still taking a pretty big cut, but at least it's proportional, it's fair.
Okay.
So what the MLB owners did, they're like, all right, we're going to send these ridiculous propositions because we don't want to do anything more than 60 games so we don't lose that much money. Even though right now baseball's kind of been a dying sport. National interest in it has dwindled severely over the past 10 years, I would argue.
Yep.
Slow pace of game, consistent rules changing.
All eyes would be on baseball right now if it was on TV, though.
Exactly. MLB,
which is where they're missing out.
Dude,
Do you believe that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, look at NASCAR. NASCAR's been going crazy.
NASCAR's killing the game.
More people like baseball than NASCAR, I'd argue.
Wait, I think I'm misunderstanding something here. Do they not make money if they play games? Do they, lose money by
They're
playing
going
games?
to lose money in the short term. But if they played their cards right, they could have brought baseball to national prominence back. You think sports bettors right now aren't looking for a sport to bet on?
True.
Dude, they're
True.
fiending.
There's so many reasons why the MLB botched this. So
You think sports bettors aren't looking for...
Injected into my veins.
I don't know about that one, Jim.
As he looks up.
Checks phone for the most recent NASCAR bet.
But yeah, no, perfect example. Even though there was, obviously this is also a time to. I'm going to get back to the baseball situation real quick.
back to the basics,
I want to
yeah.
break. And then we'll go into how NASCAR shit on baseball as to how they were supposed to handle it. So, the owners kept sending. They were negotiating bad faith essentially. They're like, we're going to give the players absolutely nothing, so we don't lose that much money. And these owners are gazillionaires. It's not like them taking a little bit of a loss.
A baseball team.
Yeah. They're going to take a little loss, but there was a huge opportunity to bring back the sport to national prevalence.
Oh.
Those ratings would be absolutely insane.
Dude,
you don't have to
and watch
compete.
baseball.
You don't have to compete against basketball. You don't have to compete against football.
Yeah.
The only sport you have to compete against is NASCAR, and that's one day a week. So, I mean, you tell me.
Nice.
Sorry.
They continually gave really bad deals to the
Rookie
players'
mistake.
associations, and the players' association were like, no, why would we take millions and millions and millions of dollars of pay cuts when it's completely unfair? And the owners would be getting 75% of all TV revenue that was coming in right now, as opposed to the players were like, let's just do a 50-50 split. The profits that we make now, we'll even just take that.
Okay.
And the MLB owners just completely shot themselves in the foot. It was terrible. So pretty much 2 months ago when negotiations started, they wanted a 60-game season so they don't have to lose that much money. They wanted 70% of the TV deals or whatever, and they wasted 2 months of looking terrible in the public eye. And anyone who knows the situation
Yeah, it's a
realized
tough scene.
the owners were just being incredibly greedy, and then got eventually what they wanted, because it was either this or no season. And to be honest, I'm still not convinced it's going to happen. Would not surprise me if the owners continue to shoot themselves in the foot.
Hot take.
Well,
All right.
At the end of the day, I mean, as of right now, it sounds like we're going to have a 6-game season, which is awesome. It's good for the players. I know the players want to play, and I know they like being on the field.
Still getting shafted on pay.
Oh, 100%. But at the same time, too, I like the fact that so they might be getting shafted on pay, but I like the fact that they're willing to take the pay cuts in order to get the season underway. I think that says a lot about a lot of the players, and I also think it says a lot about just their dedication to making sure this league stays what it is, if not becomes better. And I mean, you see it with NASCAR right now. I mean, the ratings are through the roof. I mean, there's not a lot of sports on TV right now, so getting the actual MLB back on TV would be so beneficial. I don't know why the owners think that it's such a pivotal moment to be like, no, well, we don't want to lose too much money, or we don't want to have to deal with this, and this, so let's hold out.
It was just so short-sighted. They could have made so significant long-term gains.
Is there guys in the, I'm sure there are, but I don't know enough about it. Is there guys in MLB ownership that are like Jerry Jones that just hold so much sway?
Yeah.
Like who? Like the Yankees owner or
George
something?
Steinbrenner,
I feel like a lot of the
crazy.
times it comes down to the guys with the biggest egos in the room, that they're just holding shit up.
Yeah,
for no given
these
good
are
reason.
billionaires.
Yeah,
these
they're
are
like, we have money.
multi billionaires.
You have to make a good deal here. I have to come out on top in every aspect.
And Rob Manfred, the commissioner, came out looking the worst. That's an
El
old list.
Commish not having a good
Bud
time.
Selig's been dead for a while.
What's up with sports commissioners just being bad?
Don't get me started. Adam Silver's a beast. Adam
Yeah,
Silver's a
I will
beast.
say that. Adam Silver hasn't done
so
too bad.
let me ask you guys this question. What would you have liked to see them do? How would you have handled it if you were them?
I would have been, if I was an owner, I would have wanted to gotten the season underway as soon as possible. Get it going in June when things started to give up a little leeway. Put them in states
Baseball-
like Florida and Arizona. I understand Arizona just had a spike, but there's a lot of elderly people
But
out there. So that
how
could
are
be
you going
attributed
to convince the people that are invested in your sport to take those massive losses? How are you going to answer to them? Because they want
The
their money.
only people who are taking the
Better
losses.
to be out playing on TV, getting TV deals, and not doing anything at all.
The only people who are taking
Sakes
Get the
losses.
viewership up. Yeah,
What's up, bro?
The only people who would take any losses obviously players are going to take a loss because they're not playing as many games,
Sure.
and owners are going to be taking a loss because there's not as many games and no fans to sell tickets to, correct?
So, yeah.
If they don't play, the owners lose out on all the money of playing on the TV deals that they would get.
Literally.
If they think in a long, how I would sell it is we've got a dying sport here. Here's an idea. Let's take the one time we could have the national spotlight for 4 straight months and run with it.
What I'm not understanding is how not playing benefited anybody.
Because I think MLB contracts, I think they're pretty much guaranteed whether they play or not at a prorated salary. So,
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't know the answer to that question,
Right.
but I think it just goes back to the basic assumption of why not take the spotlight, why not get the opportunity to put your sport in the spotlight,
my
and then
point. But
recoup some money from TV deals. Like, you're not going to make any money not playing, and you're going to lose more money not playing than you would playing and getting money
No,
in.
you can't say that. You just said you don't know the reason why they wouldn't want to play. So
Well, I'm
just
sure there
stated the
has to
reason.
be. Well, there's probably other implications involved.
That's what I want to know. Because I don't think that they would do that for no good reason, but I'm not seeing what their reasoning was.
From everything that I was hearing, it sounded like the owners just really weren't getting their way between what players wanted and what some of the other
the
owners
owner's way was irrational. The players' way was fairly rational. Just prorate the salaries. We're not
Yeah.
asking for more. We're not asking for less.
Exactly.
We agreed to these contracts. Be good for your word.
Was it ultimately just coming down to like how much the players were going to end up getting paid for how many games?
That, how many games there was, a bunch
Yeah.
of different things.
Because the players wanted more games than 60, right? They wanted
Yeah.
to play like
I think
70,
82. I think 82 games was
Yeah.
their proposal because that's half the season.
Right.
They could have been playing for the past month because other places in the world have been playing baseball. It's a socially distant sport.
Exactly.
It
Yeah,
was,
it actually
was
is.
the perfect freaking opportunity.
Okay, here's an interesting take. This comes from deadspin.com.
Oh, that's been terrible.
Okay, well, I'm just going to give you the take, and you can tell me you hate it.
Tim's
or
like,
you
it's
love it.
garbage already.
So there's fear, although you guys are obviously suggesting the opposite would happen. There's fear that with a crap season and a crap meaningless playoff, potentially, ratings would drop. And because the TV deals come up next year to be renegotiated, if you got bad ratings, I could see how that would be something that
Well,
would
you're not
come
going to
back
have any
to bite
TV
you.
ratings. You're just going to be going off last
No,
year's.
but exactly. But maybe
Perfect
they're good
opinion.
last year.
Were
Do you
they?
guys remember when LeBron won
Were
his
they,
first
though?
title?
I don't know.
I doubt it.
I bet they're better than this year.
Quick
Well, they're gonna be
hypothetical
skewed.
question. Do you guys remember when LeBron won his first title with the Heat? Remember
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
How crazy big of a deal it
I
was?
do remember that.
That was
I
a
didn't know it
shortened
was a
season.
big deal.
History doesn't remember it. Shit pops off. If,
So
if the game's good,
yeah.
the
Well,
game's
was that
good.
the same year as the lockout for the NBA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm tending to believe that you guys would be right, and with not a lot of competition, there would actually be great ratings. But that's
Dude,
a risk you have to take. And not
I love-
everybody's willing to do that.
I watch playoff
Business is all about
baseball.
risk.
I watch playoff baseball religiously, and I
Risk
watch
management.
yeah,
Gotta
and
take
I
risk.
watch a lot of just random games throughout the season. I don't sit down and watch. Probably watch 15 to 20 games throughout the year, like start to finish, and just baseball's like casual Saturday afternoon. Throw on the game for an inning or two, and then go do whatever I'm doing. If this was the case, I would be watching full games all the time. Zero doubt. Dude, I stayed up and watched Korean baseball at like
Yeah.
1:32 in the morning.
Well, he brought up risk management here. So risk management. Hang on. Well, let me say what I have to say.
But we made a mistake apparently.
Well, hang on.
Go ahead.
So you said all about risk management. Okay, you piss off your fan base. You piss off the players. You're doing bad negotiations, and you're not even ultimately listening to what the people want right now. Ultimately, you're inherently taking on more risk by not trying to get players back on the field than keeping them off the field, in my opinion.
Yeah, I also
Because
agree.
you're just pissing off way too many people, and you're going to get issues with players coming up on next season. I guarantee they're going to be pissed off still. I see
okay.
a lot of athletes like to hold grudges, especially
yeah.
when it comes to their money.
Okay, I think that's jumping pretty far out into the future. Here's something though. So this is suggesting that after the 4th of July, NBA and NHL are going to pick up the ends of their seasons and playoffs. So there's only going to be a few weeks of independence. So we were suggesting they would get months in the spotlight.
Yeah, they would have.
Well, if they
MLB
would've
was
started-
trying to.
They were trying to
MLB
start in May.
Yeah,
That's 2 months.
May
2 months in
June,
the
July.
spotlight is a
Now,
whole.
after July 4th, those other things are going to pick up.
Okay, May and June would have been perfectly fine to
But-
have.
Well,
I think I'm wrong a little bit.
so
it's
wait,
later in July.
You said NHL.
NHL and the NBA will pick up their
Okay, maybe not so much
seasons and
NBA,
playoffs.
but NHL is very isolated,
market.
segregated
Niche
fans.
market.
Yeah, they don't really like to watch a lot of other sports. I'm not saying it goes for all of them, but a lot of NHL fans are very dedicated to just NHL.
Yeah,
Well, that's the point.
Well,
That's why
okay.
they wouldn't watch the MLB, and why you wouldn't want to have.
Well, a lot of them
that's
wouldn't
gonna
watch the
lose
MLB
more.
anyways.
True.
Is what I was
I know.
trying to say.
Okay. I
Here's
understand that.
here's what I'm saying. You would have had 2 months where you would have been the only professional sport. The MLB, the NHL, NASCAR, probably college football, probably NFL.
God, I hope college
by
football.
all accounts, are willing to risk the ratings. Why is the MLB not? Because that's a facade for a thing that the owners don't want to lose more money. They don't want to play the games, and they were negotiating in bad faith.
You know what? I'd be curious to look into. I will look into a minute. But what is the trend been in terms of ratings in the MLB? Because
They've been steadily declining.
Yeah,
100%.
if it's going down, I could totally see how they'd be like, "We already were doing a terrible job. This could be really bad. We got to play this safe. We know how bad it is now. It could be worse. Let's not play that game." I could see that.
That's so short-sighted, though. That is so short-sighted.
Agreed.
It's easy to say that when you don't have billions of dollars on the line.
NASCAR is not. Okay,
It's not a driving sport either.
NASCAR in 2003 was the second largest sport in America by revenue, which is crazy to think about
It
how far
actually
it's
is.
fallen
Yeah.
off.
Sure.
They
It's just crazy. That
right
it's
now
that in
are
general.
dude. Post like Dale Earnhardt era, that shit was crazy. I don't want to say it's Bobby Labonte, but it was probably Bobby Labonte. Anyways, that sport, who has slowly died off to the point where there was projections that it was no longer going to be a sport by 2025. They have been killing ratings.
Starting to rebound.
They've had the highest rated races in 5 years on like Wednesday nights.
Now, trust me, I'm only playing devil's advocate because I could see how a specific individual or individuals at the top of the MLB don't catch what you're saying, or maybe don't feel confident that that would come true for them.
I think there's been a pattern, MLB specifically going, that's why they've always had the worst player negotiations, they've always had the most lockouts. Owners don't like to lose money. And it has been this is not the first, I guess I should have brought this up because this is not the first time this has happened with the MLB. This has happened multiple times,
Yeah.
and this happened all the times. We missed seasons in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah,
I
they
don't know
were
about the
threatening
80s.
a lockout not too long ago.
Yeah.
A couple years ago.
Yeah, they completely missed the season in the 90s
Okay.
because of this same thing. And the ownership hasn't changed that much since then. The mentality in baseball has always been bad from the ownership's
How
perspective.
did it go in the 90s?
They didn't play for like a season
how
and a
did that
half.
turn out after a season and a half?
Well,
Salary caps go up.
salary caps did go up for a little bit, but baseball was stagnant for like 4 years
So
until the steroid era took over.
Barry Bonds, Barry
So-
biceps.
yeah, dude.
Yeah. Hitting dingers.
Ah.
Who doesn't want to see somebody hit a baseball 400 yards? I don't care. Juice them all.
Mark McGuire,
yards.
Sammy
400
Sosa.
yards, excuse me, 400 feet. I still stand by what I said. Juice them
They've
all.
hit him further than that. They've hit him 5+.
Great. Even better.
I know.
I'm all about it. Put Miggy on steroids. Maybe he'll slim down a little bit, drop a few pounds, run a little faster.
Biggie's past the prime.
Let me just end with this.
100%.
Let me end my thought process with this. I hear what you're saying. And it makes sense to me. I get it. I have a hard time believing that people that run baseball for a living haven't thought about this. So I'm trying to understand where they're coming from, and I can't figure it out. This is my closing remarks.
I just think they're dumb.
I think they are.
Put the players on the field. Call it a day.
I think there's an insulated mentality throughout MLB ownership that has remained consistent throughout decades of the organization.
Okay.
And I think when you dig a little more deeply into this, you will see that. That's what I'm going to say.
Hey,
I'm
I'm going to roll with it.
God
I just
damn
think it's stupid that they're not playing. I'd love to sit down and watch a baseball game on like a Saturday afternoon or a Wednesday night or something. Are you kidding me? A little nighttime baseball? That shit's elite.
Dude,
I love watching nighttime baseball.
primetime baseball's
that is
elite.
good.
Did they say anything about bringing fans into the state? I didn't read that far into it, but are they talking about maybe bringing them at like 15% capacity? What's the deal?
This weekend, NASCAR had,
I know I meant baseball.
fans.
I meant
And they
baseball.
just throw them at you.
I think it depends on the municipality.
Okay, so I know NASCAR. What Dega just had?
They just had fans.
They had
They had
decent amount
fans.
of fans.
A couple thousand.
Yeah, I was to say, wasn't it like 20% capacity?
No, 20% capacity. Dig is like 100, like not 100, but they
I
have
was gonna say, what?
max capacity. I think is 185,000 at Dega.
So
it's a
that
2.5 mile track, granted.
Yeah.
infield and outfield,
So-
or infield and stands.
So what does that
But I
equate to? They
think,
probably had like 18,000.
yeah, I think they had 5,000,
Oh shit, that's
5,000
way over what I was
fans.
thinking. Okay, I mean shit.
and they were all from within 150 miles of Talladega. That was first come first serve on tickets.
Yeah. Here's what I'm saying. I just want sports to come back in some fashion. We need. God. I mean, it's such a deeply ingrained aspect of life.
And the reason that I think NASCAR is a good example. I know I'm a NASCAR fanboy, but NASCAR has been the perfect example of how they took not only the time to be in the spotlight, but also understood the situation that our country's currently in and capitalized it. I'm not saying it was disingenuous because there were some serious allegations made. Now we know that they turned out to be false. But the way that the NASCAR community rallied around Bubba Wallace, has rallied around these social justice causes have been...
Kicking out the Confederate flags and all that.
Yeah, exactly. They were like, yep, we shouldn't be doing this anymore. So they have done, I think, an exemplary job of how a professional sports organization should handle the situation we're currently in. Because there's so many levels to it, and on every level, NASCAR's checked the box.
Right, and I couldn't agree more. I think that actually the fans have responded to it pretty well, actually, and extremely well, more so than I probably would have initially given them credit for. Well, and that might be kind of shitty on my part, but at the same time too, I didn't expect it to be as fast moving as it's been, and it's actually enlightening to see, dude. And I think NASCAR is kind of badass. I mean, motorsports are cool in itself.
What's not cool about
cars 200 miles an hour? I'm here for it, dude. I like the noise. I like the vibration of the cars.
Stop.
We're going to have to cut that.
But at the end of the day,
I'm leaving it.
they have done a really good job. I'll give them credit for that. I like it.
It's just...
All right, Mrs. Jim Beam.
God dang. Great movie reference. So I mean,
you don't like Talladega Nights, then F
well,
you.
no, I think the Confederate flag thing, the response was great because if there was any state that was going to try to push to sneak Confederate flags into the race, it was going to be in Talladega, Alabama. There's zero doubt in my mind. That's like the Confederate flag stronghold. I went there last year. Confederate flags were everywhere.
Yeah.
There wasn't one incident of someone trying to wear a T-shirt with a Confederate flag on it, someone trying to bring a flag in.
Yeah.
Obviously, the sample size is a little smaller at 5,000, but still, the reaction was great. The reaction with Bubba Wallace pushing the car to the front of the starting line before the race in solidarity was great.
It was elite.
It was just, I don't know. I think
Wallace
they should
actually had himself a day too.
Yeah, dude, he was leading with 10 to go.
Yeah. What did he end up placing?
14th. There was a bunch of fuel strategy then, but we don't got to get into all that. But
all right, you got to take me to a NASCAR race because here's my deal.
Boys.
I don't understand why you're so excited, but I believe there's a reason. But I
dude,
just don't know what it is.
I'm not gonna lie. It's a completely different experience in person. It is. You get there and you're like, you can bring a 30 rack into the stands.
Boys.
You don't have to pay for it, and you get to watch cars go 200 miles per hour.
Hear me out.
Let's go.
Slightly Buzzed podcast from whatever NASCAR venue we decide to do.
If MIS has a race this year that allows fans, we should go.
We're going.
We're going to have to jump on that, though.
Yeah, I'm down for it.
Let's go ahead. It's about an hour in. Let's wrap things up.
Hey.
This was fun.
This was a good one. We started this podcast off nice and strong with a good, hearty topic, and I don't mean good in any good ways, but it was something that, we dove into it. And I'm glad that we did because I had some questions that I was pretty curious to see what you guys had to say about it, and I think we got some good takes on it.
Hell yeah, brother.
On the side note, away from that, this beer was pretty goddamn
Phenomenal.
good. Dude. I'm a big fan of porters, and
I was about to say we got to give a shout out to Connecticut Valley Brewing Company. We didn't even mention 6.5 alcohol by volume, just a standard porter. That. Oh, you did?
Yep. Don't worry, I got you, people.
Nick saw it and he was like, "Uh-oh."
I was like 6.5. Got some octane. Could start my car with this.
But yeah, it's been a fun podcast, boys.
It was.
To wrap up here, let's see. Next shipment of hats are on the way, so we will get to you folks and let y'all know when they're ready to come and ready to be shipped. A standard price of $24.99 plus shipping and handling will be
wherever
standard
you're at
for
in the US of A. We will
Agreed.
send it to you with a smile on our face.
Yeah, dude.
And love in our hearts.
Maybe a personal
and beer
message.
in our bellies.
Dude,
almost
what
beer on the table.
What a save!
Sweet.
Oh my gosh, that was a beautiful
Almost
save.
I know you did. But anyways, yep, hats on the way soon. So keep a lookout for those. We'll keep y'all posted.
Yeah, we're still in the developmental stages of shirts and koozies at the moment, but we got a couple suppliers in the works trying to figure that out.
Merch. Coming soon.
Get your merch. But yeah, other than that, boys, you got anything else?
I do not. Thank you all for tuning in to the Slightly Buzzed Podcast, episode 21.
If you're still here, thank you for watching all the way through. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and y'all have a great evening. Stay slightly buzzed.
Cheers, y'all.